I had a heart attack at my own office, alone, collapsed on the carpet near my desk. The hospital called my wife immediately, and she said the words that ended their marriage without her even knowing it: "We can't cancel, we have Maui in 5 days." The doctor warned her directly, saying this was serious and her husband could die within hours. Vanessa Cole flew out anyway, suitcase already packed, boarding passes already printed, husband already forgotten. When she came back 7 days later, tan and rested, I was gone. So was every dollar she thought belonged to her. Welcome back to Dad's Cruel Revenge. Grab your snacks, get comfortable, because every villain in this story got exactly what they deserved. Be sure to subscribe and drop a comment. What would you have done in my place? My name is Daniel Cole, 44 years old, founder of a construction and development firm in Denver, Colorado. I built that company from a single truck and a toolbox into a business worth $11 million. Vanessa and I had been married for 19 years, and for most of those years, I believed our marriage was solid. I paid for the house, the cars, the vacations, and every extravagant purchase Vanessa justified as self-care. Our son Ethan was away at college in Boulder, proud of his father, unaware of the storm building at home. I trusted Vanessa completely. That trust nearly cost me my life, and it cost her absolutely everything she thought she was entitled to. Vanessa Cole had not always been distant. Early in our marriage, she worked alongside me, answering phones and managing invoices while I poured concrete myself. Success changed her slowly, the way it changes people who forget where they started. By our 15th anniversary, Vanessa had stopped working entirely, choosing instead to build a lifestyle brand online, posting photos of designer bags and rented sports cars as if they were permanent fixtures of her life. I noticed small changes first. Vanessa began locking her phone with a new passcode. Vanessa started taking calls in the garage with the door shut. Vanessa scheduled personal training sessions 5 days a week with a man named Tyler Brandt, a session length that stretched longer each month. I told myself it was nothing, that Vanessa deserved hobbies after years of sacrifice. My business partner and closest friend, Marcus Reyes, tried warning me once over dinner, saying Vanessa's spending had tripled without explanation. I brushed him off, defending Vanessa the way loyal husbands often defend the people slowly betraying them. Marcus never brought it up again, but he watched carefully from that point forward. Looking back now, every warning sign was visible. I simply refused to see what was directly in front of me, because admitting it meant admitting my marriage was already collapsing. The heart attack happened on a Tuesday afternoon in March, during a routine budget review at my office. My chest tightened first, a pressure so heavy I thought a filing cabinet had fallen onto me. Sweat soaked through my shirt within minutes, and my left arm went numb from shoulder to fingertips. My assistant, Priya, found me on the floor near my desk, barely conscious, gasping for air. Priya called 911 without hesitation, her voice shaking as she gave our office address to the dispatcher. Paramedics arrived within 8 minutes, working on me in the elevator lobby while coworkers watched in horror. I remember fragments only, the oxygen mask pressing against my face, the siren screaming through downtown traffic, a paramedic shouting my blood pressure numbers to another. At St. Memorial Hospital, doctors confirmed a massive blockage in my left anterior descending artery, the vessel cardiologists call the widowmaker. Emergency surgery was scheduled within the hour, my survival far from guaranteed. Priya called Vanessa immediately from the hospital waiting room, explaining everything in careful, urgent detail. Priya described my collapse, the ambulance, the diagnosis, and the surgery that could not wait. Vanessa's first question was not about my condition. Vanessa's first question was whether the surgery would interfere with our flight to Maui. The hospital's cardiac coordinator called Vanessa directly after my surgery began, wanting immediate family notified of the risk involved. Dr. Patel personally got on the phone, explaining that my heart had stopped twice on the operating table. Dr. Patel said the words clearly, without softening them, "This is serious, he could die." Vanessa's response, according to Priya who stayed on speakerphone throughout the call, was chilling in its calmness. Vanessa said, "We can't cancel, we have Maui in 5 days," as though rescheduling a vacation mattered more than her husband's survival. Dr. Patel tried again, explaining that recovery timelines were uncertain and family presence mattered during critical care. Vanessa asked whether the hospital could simply update her by phone while she traveled. Tyler Brandt, the personal trainer Vanessa had grown suspiciously close to, was already waiting in a rideshare outside her salon appointment. Neighbors later confirmed seeing Tyler's SUV parked in our driveway that same evening, loading matching luggage into the trunk. Vanessa boarded a flight to Maui 3 days after my surgery, leaving me unconscious in intensive care with no family present. Priya visited daily out of loyalty, holding my hand when no one else would. Marcus flew back early from a business trip in Chicago the moment he heard, refusing to let me wake up completely alone. I woke up on the 4th day after surgery, disoriented, tubes running from my arms and chest. Marcus was sitting beside my bed, exhausted, having barely left the hospital for 72 straight hours. My first question was simple, asking where Vanessa had gone. Marcus hesitated before answering honestly, something he had never done carelessly in 20 years of friendship. Marcus told me Vanessa had flown to Maui with Tyler Brandt, leaving instructions only to keep her updated by text. The words landed harder than the heart attack itself, a different kind of pain settling into my chest. Renee Foster, my ICU nurse, confirmed quietly that no family member had visited since Vanessa's departure. Renee had seen abandonment before, but she said mine felt particularly deliberate, calculated even. I asked Marcus to bring my laptop from the office once I was moved to a regular hospital room. Marcus refused at first, worried about my blood pressure and stress levels during recovery. I insisted, telling Marcus I needed to understand exactly what I was dealing with before Vanessa returned home. Marcus finally agreed, bringing the laptop along with something else I had not expected. Marcus brought printed bank statements showing withdrawals I had never personally authorized, dated across the previous 8 months. The bank statements Marcus brought revealed transfers totaling nearly $200,000 from our joint discretionary account. Payments went to a rented beachfront condo in Lahaina, a luxury car service, and a jewelry boutique in Cherry Creek. Cross-referencing dates, I realized Vanessa had been planning this trip for months, long before my heart attack occurred. Our shared cloud storage, still synced to my laptop from years earlier, contained backed-up messages between Vanessa and Tyler Brandt. The messages described plans to finally get away together properly and referenced accessing the account before he notices. Reading Tyler's words describing my own money as an opportunity nearly triggered another cardiac event on the spot. Renee insisted I calm down, monitoring my heart rate carefully while Marcus took over reading the remaining messages aloud. One message from Vanessa, sent the night before my surgery, read plainly, "He'll be fine, doctors exaggerate everything." Another message discussed Vanessa's plan to eventually push for control of company shares through our joint estate documents. Marcus, being both my attorney and closest friend, recognized immediately what this meant legally. Marcus reminded me of a clause buried inside our prenuptial agreement, one addressing abandonment during medical emergencies and proven infidelity. That single clause, drafted 19 years earlier and nearly forgotten, was about to become the most important document of my life. Marcus explained the prenuptial clause in careful legal language, translating it into terms I could fully understand. If Vanessa abandoned me during a documented medical emergency, or if infidelity could be proven with evidence, the agreement entitled me to retain the overwhelming majority of marital assets. Marcus had drafted stronger protective language years earlier, back when Vanessa herself had insisted on fairness during our engagement. Ironically, Vanessa's own signature on that document was about to destroy the future she had been secretly planning with Tyler Brandt. I asked Marcus to begin the process immediately, before Vanessa returned home from Maui. Marcus contacted a forensic accountant named Diane Kessler, someone experienced in tracing hidden marital spending and asset dissipation. Diane compiled every withdrawal, every hidden transfer, and every suspicious payment into a single detailed financial report. Meanwhile, my cardiologist cleared me for limited activity, insisting I avoid stress but allowing supervised work from home. I used those limited hours wisely, meeting privately with Marcus and Diane to finalize legal paperwork. Company ownership documents were restructured under an irrevocable trust, one Vanessa held no legal claim over under existing agreements. Every step followed strict legal procedure, verified by Marcus and witnessed properly to prevent any future challenge in court. 6 days before Vanessa's scheduled return from Maui, I moved out of our shared house permanently. I rented a modest apartment near my office, bringing only clothing, personal documents, and framed photographs of Ethan. The family home remained legally mine under the prenuptial agreement, purchased entirely with pre-marriage business funds years before Vanessa and I met. Marcus filed divorce paperwork on my behalf, attaching the forensic financial report and documented hospital timeline as supporting evidence. The filing included Dr. Patel's written statement confirming Vanessa's refusal to return despite explicit warnings about my survival odds. It also included Tyler Brandt's messages, timestamps proving infidelity occurring well before my hospitalization began. I instructed the bank to freeze all joint discretionary accounts, a legal right clearly outlined within our original agreement. Locksmiths changed the house locks the same afternoon, following proper legal notice requirements posted directly on the front door. Priya helped organize remaining paperwork at the office, grateful to see me recovering despite everything happening around me. Ethan called from Boulder, shocked but supportive once I explained everything calmly and honestly over the phone. My son said quietly, "Dad, I always wondered why you worked so hard for someone who barely noticed." Those words confirmed something I had suspected but never wanted to accept about my own marriage. Vanessa and Tyler landed back in Denver exactly 7 days after departing, both visibly relaxed and sunburned from Maui's beaches. A rideshare dropped Vanessa at our house first, luggage rolling behind her toward what she still believed was her front door. Her key no longer worked, the lock mechanism completely different from the one she remembered. Confused, Vanessa knocked repeatedly, eventually noticing a legal notice taped neatly beside the doorframe. The notice, prepared properly by Marcus, explained the change of locks and referenced ongoing legal proceedings regarding marital property. Vanessa called my cell phone 11 times within 20 minutes, each call going straight to voicemail without exception. She then called Priya at the office, demanding answers about some mistake with the house. Priya, following instructions precisely, redirected every question to Marcus's law office downtown. Tyler Brandt, watching from his SUV nearby, reportedly told Vanessa this would blow over soon enough. Neighbors later described Vanessa standing on the porch for nearly an hour, calling contacts frantically, growing visibly panicked. Her personal credit card, tied to the frozen joint account, declined at a nearby hotel later that same evening. For the first time in 19 years, Vanessa Cole faced consequences without money to soften the landing. That single afternoon marked the beginning of everything she was about to lose. Vanessa arrived at Marcus's law office 3 days later, requesting an emergency meeting to sort out this misunderstanding. I sat across the conference table calmly, recovering physically but completely resolved emotionally about what came next. Marcus placed the forensic financial report directly in front of Vanessa, page by page, transfer by transfer. Diane's documentation showed the beachfront condo payments, the jewelry purchases, and the rideshare charges dated during my hospitalization. Next came Dr. Patel's written statement, confirming the exact words spoken during that critical phone call about Maui. Vanessa's face went pale reading her own quoted response preserved permanently within hospital records. Finally, Marcus presented printed messages between Vanessa and Tyler Brandt, conversations spanning 8 months of planning and deception. Vanessa attempted excuses first, claiming stress and confusion clouded her judgment during my medical emergency. Those excuses collapsed immediately once confronted with dated evidence proving premeditation stretching back nearly a year. I spoke only once during that entire meeting, my voice steady despite everything churning beneath the surface. I told Vanessa plainly that love requires presence, and she chose absence when presence mattered most. Vanessa broke down crying, insisting she never truly believed the doctors, that she thought I would simply be fine regardless. I reminded her that belief was never her decision to make alone. Divorce proceedings moved quickly once forensic evidence and hospital documentation entered the official court record. The presiding judge reviewed the prenuptial agreement carefully, specifically the clause addressing abandonment during documented medical emergencies. Combined with proven infidelity, the clause left little room for negotiation regarding asset division between Vanessa and myself. The court awarded Vanessa a modest lump sum settlement, calculated strictly according to prenuptial terms rather than typical marital splitting. My company, protected under the irrevocable trust, remained entirely mine, untouched by any claim Vanessa attempted to file afterward. The family home sold within 2 months, proceeds distributed according to the same prenuptial formula favoring my original pre-marriage contribution. Vanessa moved into a small rental apartment across town, a stark contrast to the lifestyle she once displayed online. Tyler Brandt's personal training business collapsed shortly afterward, once his own wife discovered the affair through local gossip. Tyler's wife filed for divorce within weeks, taking their 2 children and leaving him without income or reputation. Local acquaintances quietly distanced themselves from Vanessa, aware of exactly what had happened during my hospitalization. Vanessa's social media following shrank dramatically once followers learned the full truth behind her curated Maui photographs. Every dollar, every relationship, and every advantage Vanessa once relied upon disappeared within a single devastating year. 18 months later, my company expanded into 2 new states, generating higher revenue than any previous year in its history. My cardiologist cleared me for full activity, confirming my heart had healed completely alongside the rest of my life. Ethan graduated from college that spring, standing proudly beside me at the ceremony without his mother present. Marcus remained my closest friend and trusted attorney, our bond strengthened permanently by everything we had endured together. Priya received a well-deserved promotion, managing operations across our growing company with sharp precision and total loyalty. Vanessa, according to mutual acquaintances, still struggled financially, working retail hours she once considered beneath her lifestyle. Tyler Brandt left Denver entirely, reportedly working odd jobs in a different state, his reputation permanently damaged. I built a new home that year, smaller than before but entirely mine, purchased without hesitation or compromise. I began dating again eventually, choosing someone who valued presence over convenience, substance over appearance completely. Every decision I made during recovery had been calculated, deliberate, and legally airtight from the very first day. Vanessa chose Maui over my survival, and that choice cost her every privilege she once took for granted. I built my empire twice, once with love I believed was real, and once with a heart that finally knew the difference. Vanessa flew home to nothing, and she deserved every ounce of it.